you, Daniel. Thank you, Shayna. It's always an honor and inspiration to hear you talk and to see your physical strength. I know, we get to see the outside of the strength you're putting on, but we obviously send you messages of comfort and, how you are grappling and dealing with your own trauma and your own loss. But I think it's such a beautiful way to make a tribute to those who have given their lives on Kiddush Hashem, sanctifying Hashem's name, celebrating Chanukah. But interestingly, just to enhance what Daniel said, the whole concept of Tu B'Shvat, I think, if we go back to its actual original purpose, was about who we are as a Jewish people, because the entire concept of Tu B'Shvat was to give us the understanding of which year do our tithings belong to. So from Sukkot onwards to Tu B'Shvat is when the heavy rain started, and it took about 4 months for the ground to really become moist and appropriate to now start producing fruit. So any fruit that was grown after the 15th of Shvat belonged to the new year, and any fruit grown up until the 15th of Shvat was belonged to the previous year. And you know that the whole agricultural cycle was really about the Jewish people working so hard in the land, but understanding that everything that they were making from their hard work didn't only belong to them. They would obviously take some of the things from massacre to Yerushalayim. A lot of that would be belonging to those who are less fortunate, to the needy. And obviously every 7 years leaving it open that anybody could come and take from them. So the whole concept of Tu B'Shvat, I think, really symbolizes what I've learned about your father. I didn't have the pleasure of knowing him, but from the things you shared, that his whole concept, his whole life, every transaction, every business dealing was about how can we make and give of ourselves to others. And I think one of the beautiful things about planting a tree is that for many of us, trees that we may see around, we weren't there when they were planted. And the people who planted them may not be here anymore either. And because we understand that planting a tree, even though we may not necessarily see its fruit grow, we know that the next generation will enjoy it. So we don't only do things for the here and now, we do things because we understand our actions affect not only us, but our children, our grandchildren. And I think what you just said is so appropriate to a tree, because your father planted trees. He planted trees in you and your children, and every bit of tzedakah he gave. And you look at Chabad of Bondi, which he worked so hard, how much fruit is growing. So he may not be here physically to see it, but we know that his neshama, his soul, is getting so much joy and nachas to see that the fruits of his labor are growing and continue to grow exponentially. And may all the victims that lost their lives, we know that we have the obligation to ensure that their trees continue to grow by learning about their stories. And there were so many beautiful tributes, and the 15 mitzvot, which many of them were dedicated to something which each of them sort of in their lifetime felt a strong connection to. So we can continue embracing those values, those mitzvot that they found was part of their essence when they lived in this world, then they will certainly live on. So I want to wish you and all the other families that, as I said, are still going through your own sort of navigation of the loss. But hopefully this brings a bit of strength to know that we're with you, that we're thinking of you, and that, as I said, the impact that your father's made will certainly continue on for generations to come.